Greetings all. Not a bit warmer today. It's been below 0 Celsius here for almost 2 weeks. It's just been a nightmare. Okay, it's July 2025, and I just thought, I wonder what record I would have bought in July 1965. And, or is it June? No, it's July. And I found it, yes. One of my many Australian parlophone singles. This has got a bit of a story about it, which I'll get to in a minute. Yeah, this was Help, the Beatles. What I was going to do was a great B-sides video, and then I thought, I will do other ones, but this one, when I flipped over Help, which I loved, and played on down the B-side, I mean, what is this? I mean, I'm not a Paul McCartney fan. There's something about him. It's a bit like Ben Rankins and Van Morrison. There's something about Paul McCartney that just gives me the willies. And even on this song, I'm Down, there's something off about him. You know, he's not real. He's fake somehow. But I just love this I'm Down, the B-side. It was just so different. It wasn't, I want to hold your hand and let's go to the pictures and all, she loves me and all that stuff. This was sort of like really, he was channeling Little Richard. That's what it was all about. And it's sort of like, whoa, that's not cute and nice at all. So, great single. I actually conned my poor dear dad into taking me to see the movie Help, which the Beatles were in when later on, just a little bit later on that year when the film came out, and I conned him into going to the drive-in. So I said, there's this a movie on called Help, and and he said, all right, and he said, what's it about? I said, I don't really know, of course I knew. And so we get down there and we drive down in our Ford Falcon and park and get the speaker, the little mono speaker that you put through the window and the dangles. Great sound. And the big screen, I mean, it was like a drive-in was a big deal back then. You youngsters couldn't imagine how awesome that was. That was like IMAX without the really fine detail. It was awesome for its time, because all we had was black and white television in Australia in 1965, and so that was. Anyway, we get there and I'm shitting myself because I know he's going to fucking spew when he sees what comes on. So anyway, after all the little cartoons and shit they do, on it comes. Help! I need some. It's the Beatles in colour, And my man just goes, you. And he had to sit through a Beatles movie. Oh, Christ, I was in trouble. But I think he secretly liked it, But because it was quite amusing at the time. And there's some damn good songs in that too. Yeah, good album, Help. I actually had that. I gave it to my nephew because he's a big Beatles fan, but it's just, I can't stand that Dizzy Miss Lizzie or Yesterday. I mean, just about everything else on it I like. But thank God those two tracks are on the end of side 2. So, yeah, anyway. Another story about Help. I remember when I bought this, and one of my friends who ended up becoming a very famous TV personality, and he was a ranger up in the Northern Territory of Australia, very well known and highly. We used to go. He was a snake catcher, and I used to be his little offsider. And the only time I ever gotten bitten by a snake was when he said, "Quick, get up that tree and grab that green snake." Well, I knew green snakes weren't poisonous, but nevertheless, they have teeth and they do hurt when they bite. So I come down the tree with this fucking bloody 3 foot bloody green tree snake latched onto my finger. I said, "Here's your damn snake." But yeah, there's a million stories go about that. But that's yeah, I remember Ian, and I won't say anyone's last names here, or because you never know, they might see this and they'll come and punch me out. Yeah, so I bought that, and he must have come round to my bedroom and went, "Oh, you got this?" And I went, "Yeah." He said, "Come on, we'll take it up to the Clark's place and play it up there." So we thrashed this single. For about half an hour, we just played help, and then I'm down, help, and I'm down. And then someone had the bright idea of playing Dutch ovens, and which was a very, a game back before computers and colour TV and drugs. The only thing that a young teenager could do was get involved in, fist fights in the schoolyard or play Dutch ovens, and it meant that you had to get under a blanket and then people had to fart, or try to fart. And the one that can stay in the longest without, running away wins. And you don't win anything. You just get to smell a really stinking fart. But I always found it amusing because it was the two Clark brothers, Ian, and the Clark brothers' sister. Now, I won't say what her name was because I can't actually remember her first name, but she was a real nymphomaniac. I mean, their father was a one of these fake, like snake oil preacher type guys that had his own church in this suburb I grew up in, and he was a nice guy, but it was like almost like it was you know, I mean, for instance, I'll just put this in while I think of it. One of the guys that was an assistant to this minister up there, I went there a few times because it was sort of a groovy church, 1960s sort of, and they weren't sort of like real strict and all that. And one of the assistant guys there actually raped a famous writer in her own right. She was a girl that grew up in this suburb. She was like the sexiest girl, not in a Bridget Bardot way, in a sort of a more, I don't know, it's hard to explain. The girl next door, but really, really good looking girl. And apparently he raped her. And we found out about it about a year later or something. And everyone said, "Whatever happened to that bloke?" And she never said anything about it, but it all came out. And and she ended up marrying a famous Australian who was part of the there's Martin Sharp, who wrote songs with Cream. I can't say his name because this female might see this. I doubt it, but the thing is, yeah, it was really really weird. So what else? Yeah, back to the Dutch ovens, and yeah, and the daughter of this minister, we were down there playing soccer one Saturday morning, or football, as people in Europe call it. The round ball, not the oval. And while we're playing soccer, she's standing over, those bubblers, that you turn a bubbler on and it squirts water up. We're trying to play soccer while she's over there standing over a bubbler and she wasn't actually sticking it up a front bottom or even a back bottom, but she was going up and down on it like as if to say, "You'd like to do this to me, wouldn't you?" And I just remember that she was one of the ones when we were playing Dutch ovens. "Help! I'm feeling down."